I meet Big Jimmy when I can. We drink in the waterside inns with the money we have, huddled together in corners by the firelight, softening the edges one sip at a time. Workers forced us to go our separate ways. Jimmy, the poor bastard, was a constable for a time. He joined that blue-clad gang that give me trouble. It's a choice that's disdained by most of our convict brothers, but the greater hate he faced came from the free, who resent being policed by those found guilty of criminality. Another sign of the hell-bound nature of the island, I suppose, where foxes guard their henhouse. How those poor rich suffer on account of us. Jimmy's employment was quite a predicament, and one thing's certain, I sure made the most of it. Here comes the man of bow-legged treachery. Just wait till they hear back home. He'd laugh with that dry chuckle, the one that was no laugh at all. His eyebrows heavy as lead, his aggravation fuelled by the drink, sullen in his cups and mumbling. But he was no sooner in the policing business than gone, drunk on duty and shown the door. Welcome back from the dead old brother of mine, back home to the clobbered and roughly refined, back home to the good lady poverty. We wander the midnight riverside town. I've my ticket of leave at last in my hand. The whole place is spinning and sliding. Our almost free feet stumble loose on the ground. The side alleys sound with the angry and sorry. The boisterous echo their way down the streets, and the madams welcome their clients. The dockside ships are still in the night, their tall timber pressed to the moonlit sky. The dark holds the lingering heat of the day in this new year of 49. We try to remember our old life, but most of it slips from our minds, lost in colonial haze, lost through the crossing of seas, lost in the probation grind, lost in the hop's caress. I'm happily lost, but Jimmy is not. He shoots me the dark stare that cuts at my peace. His eyes have that hollowed out vehement ache, the one desperate reaching back home, the one that conjures up ghosts, the one that can cut to the bone and strike sharp at the tenderest place. What are we? Asked Jimmy. Colonials, says I. But what are we? Asked Jimmy. Colonials, says I. But what? Asked Jimmy. Oh, for Jesus' sake, says I. Know your place, boy, says Jimmy. Kiss my ass, says I. We stumble around for a bit. I dance him about in a headlock. He pushes me into a wall. We grunt and shove till we're both on our asses. The moonlight shimmers alive in the puddles, horse dungs piled against walls. The past presses into the present. Our heads are too full with it all. It was your idea, murmurs he. It never was, groans I. I came out to protect you, asserts he. And when's that to happen? Counters I. You've no gratitude in you, bemoans he. I have where it's warranted, strikes I. Help me up so I can kick you, demands he. Stay there so I can curse you, concludes I. He falls asleep in the shadows, and I sit and look at the moon. The whole of this night comes back to me, the whole vigorous life that suddenly seized hold of this town. Every pub we stumbled into was charged with it. It leapt from the tongues of the rich and the poor like lightning pressed through the dark. Everyone caught in a yellow fevered dream, feasting on newspaper words. Great crowds peering down at the pages of the Chronicle as though they were the gates to heaven itself. Something more than stories of Danish treasure, something real. All the seaport towns are deserted. Out of a population of nearly 1,000, San Francisco only contains about 50 or 60 souls, and these would leave were it possible. The news of the gold discoveries has spread with lightning speed, and the minister, merchant, artisan, mechanic, farmer, labourer and loafer have all gone to seek their fortune. Emptied ships in the harbour and gold thick on the ground, rivers that shine with it, mountains afire with it, a revolution of equality born from nature and its habitant right now. Poor made rich, servants made masters, the whole order turned upside down, and just 7 weeks' sail from Hobart. I can feel its pulse, reaching our shore and drifting up through the streets, that pummel of hunger fired by a scent, that murmur that builds to a roar. I've heard it and felt it all through this town, the bellicose cry for deliverance. We were in the Commercial in Collins Street, where sailors were telling of California. They said the climate is like here, warm and healthy, but the territory's wild. A few know-alls say the whole country's lawless, but most say they couldn't care less. Enough gold and you can make a safe life, enough gold and you can recruit yourself an army. The hotel was bursting with working class passion, everyone struck with the fever, wanting a ship organised, scribbling their names on a list. There were at least 100 ready to go in a fortnight, and I wanted to be one. But ticket of leave, not ticket enough. Certificate of freedom still a way off. Of course, I think of escaping. Who wouldn't think of escaping? I fill Jimmy's ears with my thinking. Once rich, no bastard could touch us, and besides, we'd be in America and beyond the reach of the empire. Imagine, Jimmy, imagine the freedom of that. It's in the air, Jimmy. Can't you taste it? I can feel it, Jimmy. Can't you feel it? Oh, this weight that's held us down, the iron clamped at our souls, the system that's made us all shackled beasts, smashed and fallen behind. All of this dead and buried. Nothing to hold us back anymore. A full, free life in front of us. Everything we could hope for. And it just calls for one moment of daring. But there was no hint of the spark in Jimmy tonight. There was just a grimace, as though all my words caused him pain. The promise of it smothered in his frown. My brother claimed by the system he hates and not able to see beyond it. If they get ships for California, do you not think every inch of every deck will be scrutinised? Do you not think they know well what every convict will be thinking? Do you not imagine they'll be well prepared for dim-witted dreamers trying to get on board? One moment of daring, you say, and then what, Connie? Port Arthur. That's what. Back on the gang with more years added on. That's what. I won't have it for myself, and I won't have it for you. I felt something die inside me then. My dream of great life meeting bare-knuckled caution. The air pummeled out of my lungs. Nothing ahead but a safe governed life and a government certified freedom. Freedom bestowed, never grasped. The whole of it received with a probation trained bow. My wild pulse tamed to a murmur, my soul forever marked by the system. Nothing to do but wash it down. Take up the cup, wash it down. It's your shout now, wash it down. Here's to you, brother, wash it down. Let's set the world spinning, wash it down. Let's weep at our losses, wash it down. Let's rage at the tyranny, wash it down. Let's wail at the moon, wash it down. Let's say this is freedom, wash it down. Nothing to do now but slowly drown, adrift on the ocean of cups.